Wild forage plant food, by definition, is veganic. That is, it's free from animal fertilisers, such as fish, blood or bone meal, which are used in most organic vegetable production. If the land where it is growing is not polluted, foraged wild food is beyond organic, it's veganic. If you include veganic foods in your diet, whether you've grown it yourself or foraged it from the wild, then you aren't contributing to the destructive side effects of conventional agriculture. Nature provides food for all the animals on the planet. It should be a basic right to be able to eat plants free from toxins. It is of the utmost importance that corporations, businesses, and governments stop destroying our ecosystems, stop cutting down our forests, stop polluting our rivers, oceans, soil and air, and start to clean up the mess that they have made. Woods, hedgerows and seashores are great places to find wild food and to connect with the landscape. Wild foods are by nature full of vitality and nutrition. Join us on our mission to keep ourselves and our amazing planet healthy and happy.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Vegan Organic Network Foraging panel. We're really excited to be here with you tonight, and we've got a wonderful team as always who are going to go through some of our favourite plants for the month of May. And what a delicious month it is when it comes to foraging and food. So I welcome now the lovely panel to join us here today. If you do have any questions whilst we're going through this, please do enter them into the chat so we can get to them at the end of each section. So you're here with me, Juliet Bryant, your host. I'm a nutritionist and a keen forager. And joined tonight with me is the lovely John Dale, Joe Barker and Mark Griffin. Hello, do you guys want to start by introducing yourself? John, do you want to start with introducing yourself? You need to unmute.
My name's John Dale. I live down in Cornwall, England, and I've been foraging my whole life since I was a kid. And yeah, just really enjoy introducing wild food into my diet. For all the reasons being nutritional and seasonal, local, wild and free, and I just love it. And I just would love to inspire more people to introduce wild food into their diets too.
Amazing. There's nothing better, John, is there, than getting out, especially when the sun starts to shine, and collecting the amazing abundance.
That's right. It's awesome.
Amazing. And have you got anything lined up, any events coming up that you'd like to share with anyone?
I haven't actually got anything lined up at the moment. There is talks that I might be doing the foraging, helping the foraging at Butterfields Festival. So, but that's not 100% confirmed at this stage, but it's
amazing.
Pretty much.
Brilliant.
Yeah,
Thank you, John.
That'll be a nice experience again.
Brilliant. And look forward to hearing about your top plant in a minute.
Thank you.
Okay, so Joe Barker, do you want to introduce yourself now?
Hello, and I totally agree. This is an amazing time to forage. It's a really abundant time, and yeah, I am a forest gardener, permaculture person, and I love foraging. And I see foraging as a type of gardening, and I see everywhere as my garden. So I just think it's an amazing thing to do. And yeah, that's it really. Yeah. Also events. We've got a couple of foraging things coming up at the Abbey Physic Community Garden in Faversham. We do regular forest gardening things, and we've got a couple of sessions of forest gardening as foraging as forest gardening, which is a nice, because yeah.
Amazing. Where can people find out about that, Joe?
That's a good question. On our Facebook page, Kent Permaculture and Future Food Forests. Actually, it's not on there. It's a good question. I haven't been very good at promoting it yet.
It will be on it later on today, maybe.
Permaculture Association website. Yeah.
Brilliant. Amazing. I look forward to connecting with your plant later on as well. Thanks, Jo. Okay, and Mark, would you like to introduce yourself?
Good evening. Can everyone see me? Oh,
Yes.
have I disappeared?
Oh, you've disappeared with your camera.
Oh, one moment.
We can
Sorry,
hear you,
everyone.
so that's the good
You
thing.
can hear me. Okay, I'll sort that out in a minute. Yes, evening, everyone. So, yes, so I'm Mark. I love to share forage walks with tea tastings and also tea ceremonies, so to connect deeper to yourself with native plants and plants that I personally source from Asia. And yes, I have events coming up. Forage Walk, I have one in West Burdock area near Colchester this Sunday, which you can check out that and all info on the website, which is nature'sknowing.fun. And yeah, you're all welcome. It's allowing people then to connect back to nature themselves and then allow them to go out and ID safely and create whatever they want, their own food, medicine, practical ways.
Brilliant. And we had a lovely foraging walk, didn't we, Mark, last week, and collected an abundance of wild garlic.
Oh, it's beautiful. Yeah, well, God, it was actually a beautiful spot, very lovely, clean area, and but just to be immersed in nature's frequencies as well.
Yeah, it's magical. Thanks, Mark. One of the things that's so exciting is when you're out foraging, you are connecting with nature, not just with the plants, but also the sunlight, the fresh air, the animals, connecting with that natural environment, which is such an important thing. If anyone's in the Suffolk area, I've got a foraging event coming up June 22nd. So do check that out on my website, which is julietbryant.com. Okay, so now we're going to get into the lovely juicy stuff, going through the amazing plants that are out there at the moment. And we're just going to go through a few of them, some of our favorites. But there is an abundance. So do get out a foraging book, do get out and see what you can find out there, and do share with us what you find. We love to hear about your finds and hear what you're doing with the amazing plants that are growing at the moment. So we're going to start with John in Cornwall. John, do you want to tell us about the plant you've chosen to talk about today? Have we got John?
Buckthorn.
There we go.
Hi guys, today I'm talking about sea buckthorn. We've got a little video which I filmed earlier. I don't know if you want to show that now. Is anything happening?
Yeah, I can hear you. So tell us about sea buckthorn, John.
Is the video live?
The video's played, so we've seen the video,
Okay,
and it looks great.
Okay, good stuff. So yeah, in autumn, basically I'm talking about this wonderful plant which is just coming into blossom at the into leaf at the moment after spring, and it's a great one that basically after the summer coming towards late summer, early autumn, it forms a beautiful orange, yellowy orange berry, and it is super high in vitamin C. It also has omega-7, vitamin A, B, B1, B2, and B6. And I just, at that sort of time of year, when I'm out on a walk or whatever, and I see them, they're just an excellent little vitamin C hit, basically. But one needs to be very careful with them because they are called sea buckthorn. And I'll try and show this on the video. You can't really see this too well, but basically they have these thorns, and you can poke yourself if not done correctly. But the way to harvest them, because these green will just be covered in orange berries, and basically you kind of get a bucket and you kind of milk the branches and into a bucket like that, like I'm describing here. And it is just absolutely gorgeous, and really, really worth introducing into your diet if you can find it. I've got them, lots of them growing at my place, and I'm really looking forward to harvesting them this year. And they are basically they originated in the northern hemisphere, like up towards Mongolia, Russia, Ukraine, and northern Europe. And they are a really hardy plant that can survive down to like negative 43, as they say. And it's been used as a food and medicine, like literally for centuries. And I would really highly recommend that you introduce it into your diet if you don't already know it, and try and get familiar with it. It is just a wonderful, wonderful plant to know. And once you've tried it, you start to recognize it, and it is just a really, really unique flavor and just super medicinal. And yeah, I'm just really passionate about it, actually. And yeah, I inspire you guys to try it out. Come late autumn, really, late summer, early autumn. Yeah. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you, John. That's brilliant. I've actually got some dried right here. So this is my dried sea buckthorn.
Brilliant.
I dried loads over the summer, and I use it for tea and smoothies. You can also use the leaves, can't you? They're great in teas.
I believe so. I've not actually tried the leaves. Yeah, I might try that with this piece.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's great to put the leaves in teas. They've got similar properties to the olive leaf, so they're antifungal, and they've got a bit of an anti-parasitic quality to them. So great leaf.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
Amazing. Thanks, John. Does anyone else have anything they would like to share on the amazing sea buckthorn?
Lovely.
No, do you want to go?
You just reminded me I had some in the fridge. This is a gift from Miles Irving, who lives near me, who rewrote the foraging books. This one, it's about the wild plants. Really, really good one. It's my go-to for seaweeds because of the pictures. But yeah, I think it's one of my favourites. I just looked it up on Plants for a Future to see if there's anything else interesting, and it's the only plant I've seen in the Amazing Plants for a Future website that has 5 out of 5 for medicine, for usefulness, and for edibility. So it's a super deep plant to know, and it grows really easily in the garden. You just need to remember to have a male and a female. Finally, Addie, who's sometimes on this panel, who's got the Amazing Plants for a Future site, different to the website, in Cornwall, she's got a whole collection of different types of sea buckthorn, which is interesting because I didn't realise there was more, but she's got a whole collection. So I think that would be a good place to visit in the late summer, early autumn.
Amazing. Thank you, Jo. Mark, do you want to share anything about sea buckthorn?
Yes, I would love to. So a few years ago, I had some friends who are making their own sea buckthorn juice, and I was helping on their land. And you just go to the coast in Somerset, near Weston-super-Mare area, and we used to it was I think as John was saying, it's such a prickly kind of shrubby bush. And what I found was we had a technique where we just put these baskets around us, and kind of a bucket, it was actually like a bucket, and we used to just milk off the berries with 2 pairs of marigolds on, and to avoid the thorns, and just milk them into the basket and get all the juice. And the guys then create a beautiful juice. And from that, they just, natural as it is, they just heat it up to around, I think, 70 degrees just to kind of pasteurize it. And they used to sell that, and it was so beautiful. It's quite a sour taste, but it was really lovely. And you can just mix it with whatever you feel to. So I used to just put it in some warm water sometimes, or some cold water, play around with that. So really beautiful. And I think as well, what I remember, I think it's good for like any anti-inflammatory as well. I have drunk the leaf as well. Just as a tea, I used to do like a tea leaf berry mix. So I used to put sea buckthorn, bramble leaf, and raspberry leaf. I think even put maybe some apple leaf in as well. So it's that experimental and exploration of all of that. So and it really is an amazing plant. And just go to those coastal areas in the sand dune areas, then you'll have a really good chance to find an abundance of it, and the berries will be out late autumn, winter time.
Brilliant. Thank you for sharing that, Mark. Now, we've had a few questions come in for our beautiful panel. So the first one, is it a good time for dandelions? I mean, I'm going to say it's an incredible time for dandelions. I think we all can agree dandelions are in full bloom at the moment, and the leaves, I mean, we've got leaves in the garden that are like this big, incredible for juicing. We're making lots and lots of amazing green juices. What about you guys? Do you love dandelions?
I understand the
unmute yourself and speak if you like.
The dandelion's one of the few things we can eat every day of the year. So we can eat the roots as well. So I think every day is a good day. And the flowers are still going here. I don't know about the seeds, though. I've always wondered what you could do with the seeds. There's my question. So the leaves, definitely, even when the flowers...
Other than blow them and tell what time it is.
Wondering about fritters or something.
I'd add to that, because I would say... yeah, it's so abundant now, dandelions. Yeah, really beautiful. And you know, they are nearly all year round as well. But I'm the same about exploring with seeds as well. So I'm seeing the seeds in every plant. So it's like, what can I do with that? And I intend this year to explore potentially, I know there's small seeds, so I don't know if they'll be able to be sproutable or not, but I want to explore what I can do with the seeds. And so let's see what happens with dandelions. So maybe that's something I can share on here when I explore that. So it's yeah, go out there, everyone. Really, dandelion it's just the most beautiful plant, and even on a energy level, it's so powerful. So eat those every day. You know, bear in mind you can eat the flowers and the leaves, and you have that kind of bitter sweetness with the bitterness of the leaves and the sweetness of the flower. And in my experience, there's not huge amounts of sweetness of plants. So get into that one.
Brilliant. So the next question that we've got is, how about birch leaves? Do you guys do anything with birch leaves? I've used birch leaves to eat and also to make teas with. What about you guys? Do you do anything with birch leaves?
I'll go. I like eating young birch leaves, and I find that I can eat them all through the year, like hawthorn, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. But yeah, go for it.
Yep.
Try it.
Yep.
As long as you eat the youngest leaves.
It's in the Woodland Trust website. There's a great resource, and it goes through all of the edible tree leaves. And there are so many. I think there's over 30 trees that have edible leaves. So, you know, we can really have a lot of food from the leaves. But you do, as Joe said, want to get the young ones, because otherwise they get a bit tough and not so tasty. Okay, so thanks for those great questions. We're on to Joe now. Joe,
Okay.
over to you, talking about
Right.
the amazing hawthorn.
Brilliant. Okay. Oh, there's a little photo or picture that Dan might share, which would be a good time. Ah, there we go. So hawthorn, Crataegus monogyna, is also known as the Mayflower, and it's one of the most common shrubs. In fact, I think it might be the most common shrub in the countryside and in every hedgerow. It's very easy to identify at this time of year because the white shrubs that are on the hedgerows everywhere, that's most likely hawthorn. There is another viburnum as well in flower, but very likely to be this. And I'm going to be using this tomorrow as a May tree prop. So that's why I've got so much of it, and I will be eating it. I have been eating it. It's incredibly edible. So I made some notes so I don't forget anything. So yeah, so there's a saying, don't cast a cloud till May is out, and that refers to the May tree. So when these flowers are finished, that's usually correlates. It's usually the same time the frosts are going to be finished. So it's a good time to put those tender plants out, which is nice to know because it's very sort of localized thing. So I'm in Kent, so I'm guessing our May trees might finish earlier than the ones in Scotland. It's also a pagan fertility symbol, and yeah, so it's features in some of the Beltane May songs. So the idea is quite interesting. So if you have a look, you can see that the flowers look like little roses. I don't know if you can see that. So they have 5 petals, and they are the same family as the rose. And I think this is really important to know because the rose family is a super edible one. So it includes like all our tree fruit species like apple, pears, cherries, plums. They're all in the same family as hawthorn, as is Cotoneaster. So we can eat all the flowers and berries and young leaves of all of those. So that's just a really nice thing to know. Yeah, so it's really good for wildlife. These flowers seem to glow in the dark. There must be some nice night insects flying around pollinating them. So we've got berries as well. So the leaves, berries and the flowers are edible and packed full of nutrition. Something that's little known is, and I don't know how to find this bit of information, and also, yeah, just about the aerosol of the flowers. Apparently when you breathe in, when you're around hawthorn flowers for 20 minutes or so, you get all the same medicinal benefits. Now the medicine of this plant is incredible. I'll come to that in a second. So how to eat it, because this is mostly about foraging, right? So you eat the young leaves in the salad. You can add them to a soup. You can dry the fruit and make what's it called, what do you call it, fruit leathers, that's it. I've seen Ray Mears and his foraging friend make fruit leathers with this. I've not tried it with hawthorn in particular. It's quite fiddly, takes a long time, but worth it because it's so nutritious. Yeah, apparently you can roast the seeds as a coffee. That's something that I haven't tried. And the leaves, in a tea, the dried leaves are really good. So it's, as a medicinal, this is where it comes into its own. It's a really important plant that we could include more in our diets. So it's meant to be a good heart tonic. Now, I'm not a medicinal herbalist, so it's worth, if you've got a heart condition or are a bit cautious, then check with a medical expert or a herbalist. But this information is too good not to talk about. It's meant to be an adaptogen plant and a prophylactic. So adaptogen means it adapts to what we need, and prophylactic means it protects, and it also is quite gentle, and also what's the other word? I'm not very good at my words tonight. So yeah, so it's very gentle, so it doesn't harm. It's one of those plants that doesn't really have side effects. I haven't met anyone who has a reaction with hawthorn. But just when we're still new to a plant, we're always a bit cautious. We didn't talk about the rules, so just to say that we need to be 100% sure, and we need to be careful where we pick it, because if you eat this and where there's a lot of air pollution, that might not be so great, or where there's chemical sprays from fields, which is common with hedgerows. Fortunately, I've got a meadow behind my house which isn't sprayed, so that's quite safe. So this is a brilliant heart tonic plant, and heart disease is still the #1 killer in the world, not in the UK, but in the world generally. Heart disease, it's really common here too. So this can help as a preventative medicine. So the adaptogen part means if we've got high blood pressure, apparently this is meant to lower it. If we've got low blood pressure, it can help higher it. It helps with anxiety and palpitations and all that sort of nervous system stuff, as well as the circulatory things. So really important in that. I'm sure Juliet has more to add about that. Just a little story about statins. I'm sure most of us here don't want to take conventional medicines unless we absolutely have to. Somebody was looking for an alternative to statins, and with the guidance of their doctor, they reduced their dose to the really tiny bit, a fraction of what they were on, and they used this instead. And for 5 years, this lady in her late 70s was able to use hawthorn medicine instead of statins, which I love those sort of stories. So one of the things, it's good for the emotional body too, and with that flower remedy, for example, this is good for increasing compassion. And I've been studying the vagal nerve recently. I'm going to stop talking in a sec, but compassion's a really important thing for us to cultivate in the world, and we need to feel safe in our bodies, and hawthorn can help bring us that too. Amazing plant. Okay. Also known as bread and cheese.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Go on and on and on. There's so much to say. Yeah.
Thank you, Jo, for sharing all that amazing wisdom about hawthorn. It is a remarkable plant, and I think you've covered really much magic on it. Yeah, I think people should just get out there and get trying it, really, shouldn't they?
Yeah, and it's really nice to eat.
It is lovely to eat. One of the interesting things is it's also on an energetic level. It's said to help you look at your shadow, because when you smell it, first of all, it can have quite a pungent smell. It can smell a bit like cat's pee sometimes, and then it can smell really sweet and lovely. So it has these two sides, which are considered like the shadow and the light. So one of the things is it helps you to uncover your shadow so that you can from that find your light, which I think is a beautiful thing.
Interesting. Nice.
Does anyone else want to share briefly anything about hawthorn? We've just got a couple of minutes so that we can make sure we get everyone in. Mark, do you want to share?
Yeah, just add to that. I found it my experience as well when I've gathered the flowers and dried them or had fresh and had a beautiful tea. I found it actually acts as a sedative. I didn't know this the first time I drank the tea, and I felt this beautiful heart open space. It's so amazing for the heart, as Jo said. And but I just felt this complete, so calm. So I was relaxed, not drowsy, but it was so heart opening and so calming. So I say to people, go out there and harvest some of the flowers and have a tea and see how you go.
That's interesting, Mark, because I actually use it. I make a calming tea, which is hawthorn, rosehip, and passion flower and valerian. And the hawthorn in there, as you said, it opens the heart, but it does have that very soothing effect. I think, as Jo said, it's an adaptogen, so it helps reduce stress in the body. So it's calming in that way. I think that's quite a supportive way with it. John, did you have anything you wanted to add about hawthorn?
I think you guys have covered pretty much everything. Yeah. It is. I just also can't really recommend it more highly. Just introduce it and enjoy it.
Brilliant. One of the nice things that you can do is you can go out and make a tincture at this time of year, where you get the flowers and the leaves, and then you make the tincture, and then you strain it, and you save that same tincture for when the berries come, and then you put the berries into it. So then you get a tincture made of the three parts of it: the leaves, the berries, and the flowers. And that's incredible for energetically and physically. Brilliant. Okay, so over to you now, Mark. Let's hear about your plant.
Yes, thank you. So I'm going to talk today about burdock, and this plant generally you'll find on wasteland areas. Certainly, I've seen it as well growing by kind of river bank, well, sort of on the edges of rivers as well and streams. But it's an actually amazing plant as well. So I've eaten the young, very, very, very young leaf as well, and I found first time I ate it was this year, and actually it was really, really quite bitter actually. But as we know, bitter is super good for the body, particularly obviously for the digestion, the liver. And so you can also steam and eat the leaves, and even you can sort of blanch even the stems as well and eat those. I always say to do that when they're young, because if you see, I think there may be a couple of pictures. I'm not sure if we've got those, but the leaves can get super big. We've gone on to the seeds actually. I will come on to that. But the leaves can get super big, which if we show that picture now, so you can see it. So you can see they go in this rosette. So they're biennial, which means a 2-year cycle. So that first year, that rosette is how they come out. And then by the end of the first year, they start to die down, or they will die down. But that time of year, so October, November onwards to early spring, is a great time then to harvest the roots. And you know, if there's abundance of them around, then that's an opportunity to do that. And you can make a tea from that, and you can even eat the young. Well, you can even eat the roots. It's a huge taproot it can be. You'll do well to dig the whole thing up, but you'll get a love. It's the most beautiful smell. Oh, and so yeah, you can eat that. And I find so to make a tea, I'll just wash that off and then cut into small pieces and the root, and then dry super well. I did make a mistake once and not drying it super well, and it went moldy. So just be aware of that. So a lot of energy goes into creating. But it's a really excellent blood cleanser. It's probably one of the best. So if you've got any, also if you've got any skin issues, so eczema, that kind of stuff, then by cleansing the blood, that will cleanse that will help cleanse all the skin as well. So it's really good for that. And I found as well, there was something else it was good for. Oh, so actually I did experiment with last year the seeds, and I sprouted them just to play around. I was saying to explore more with the seeds, and it was absolutely beautiful taste eating the sprouted seeds. But I would say I found it's a bit, to get them, it's a bit fiddly, and I found it a little bit irritating on my skin. It did itch for a couple of days, so just be aware of that. And we're seeing how I can hone to get those seeds out a bit more easier. So if anyone knows that, please share. Yeah, so it's really super cleansing for the body. And I've had a root tea mixed in with dandelion root and also even a yellow docker root. So that combination, you should really feel that in the body. And it's out now, so it really is out. The seeds will come out in at the end of the 2nd year cycle. So the energy sends a spine up, and that will go. You'll see that how the seeds come out, and that's where Velcro originally derived from, was from the burdock. So you'll see that, because you'll see if you go out into nature yourself, you've got a fleece on, you'll get stuck everywhere, and why not throw a few of your friends as well. And obviously animals, pets, you take your dogs out and they'll come back full of them. That's how amazing creative nature is, how it spreads itself all around. So it's a super plant to be.
Amazing, thank you for that. And we did have a question that popped up. Where can you find burdock?
So if you look now, so you'll see they'll be in various stages, because there's a 2-year cycle. So you'll see some in the rosette form and some putting the spine up with the start to go to seed. So you will see them in wasteland areas, I found, and wood edges as well. And as I said earlier, you will find them on the edge of, I've seen them like kind of near streams and rivers and that kind of area, in my experience. So yeah, feel free to add to that, guys.
Brilliant. Does anyone want to share anything about the burdock? Joe, you've got your hand up.
It's apparently burdock was one of the ingredients of the original borscht in Russia, and it makes an amazing ferment. It doesn't last for that long, but it's really, really, really nice fermented. You know, like usually we use cabbage, but yeah, that's it.
Amazing. Thank you, Joe. John, do you have anything you want to add about burdock?
No, not really. I think that's about it really. Yeah.
Amazing. Brilliant. Well, thank you guys for sharing that. So I'm going to talk now about the dead nettle family, and I love dead nettles. So Dan, will you please behind the scenes run the show the pictures and then run the video for me, please? So we've got some pictures coming up in a second of there are lots of different ones. This is a purple dead nettle that you can see here. And I'm going to talk about all of them in a minute. And then we've got a yellow dead nettle. This is the white dead nettle here. And then there's a yellow dead nettle as well, which is this one. You can see the lovely colours on the leaves, that kind of whitey colour on the leaf. And then do you want to play the video now, Dan?
One of my favourite plants is over here. Can you see this beautiful one here? This is another type of dead nettle. This is a white dead nettle. So similar leaves to the yellow dead nettles without that variegated spot. And you've got these beautiful flowers. Can you see the landing bay in there? There we go, for the bees to land. And when you have these little flowers, they taste like honey. Absolutely beautiful thing to suck and eat. So this is a white dead nettle here. Beautiful plant. As you can tell from me touching it, doesn't have a sting. In fact, it's not even in the same family as the stinging nettle. This is in the mint family. So this is a really beautiful, beautiful plant. It's got a square stem to it. And these beautiful leaves that do look like stinging nettle leaves, but with no sting.
So we're going to be talking about these. Now, the great thing about these three different plants is they all have very, very similar properties. So I'm going to talk about them, but they've got similar properties. As I said, we've got this lovely one here with no sting. This is the white dead nettle, and the flowers are absolutely delicious. You can just pick them off and eat them. Oh, that was so sweet, that one. Absolutely delicious. Make sure you get the bugs off of them, as there are lots of bugs that are attracted to this, lots of bees. It's a great pollinator, and they absolutely love this plant. Now, when you look at the dead nettles, as I said, it's in the mint family. And there's a long history of the use of the dead nettles as an antiseptic. They are highly antiseptic. They've also, the leaves have this demulcent quality, this softness to them. And what that actually reflects is that it's going to be very supportive inside of giving us that demulcent quality in our bodies. So very good for our mucous membranes. So our respiratory tract, our digestive system, and our urinary tract. Very, very helpful in all of those different areas because it kind of coats it soothes and coats. Now, when you look at the dead nettles, they're very, very good as a digestive aid because they've got that bitter taste. So anything with that bitter taste, like we've talked about, is very good for our digestive system. Now, this is also a very good uterine tonic. So it's really, really good to help with anything to do with urine infections, cystitis, things like that. It's very good to strengthen and tone our womb area as well for women, and it's very, very good for women for excessive menstrual flow. This is where it's really, really been shown to be very beneficial. Now, what's really interesting is this is the yellow dead nettle, and you can see it's got these white bits on the leaves, and this is also known as yellow archangel, which I just think is such a lovely name. And the white one's known as white archangel as well. What beautiful names. So really, when we're looking at using these plants and working with them, you can eat the leaves, You can eat the flowers, you can eat them raw in salads, you can put them into teas, lovely in teas, you can juice them. So they're highly edible. This is the purple one here. You can see these lovely little flowers, again, very soft leaves. And the flowers, again, they have this lovely little kind of landing area for the bees, which I think is really beautiful. The dead nettles are very high in nutrients, so very high in vitamin A, vitamin C, calcium, potassium, magnesium. So they're really a nutrient-rich powerhouse. Someone said, how do you remove bugs? Well, what I do is I leave them outside on a tray so that the bugs can then escape and find their way back to nature. The other thing you can do is give them a little shake when you get them, so that you're getting those bugs to fall off, so that you're not capturing them and gathering them all inside. But for me, I like to kind of leave them flat so that they have that chance, lay them down on something so the bugs can vacate naturally. So that's a little bit about these lovely dead nettles. And, you know, there's so much information about them. Go out and do some research, but they're very, very easy to find at this time of year. So a great one to start working with. And you can't really mistake this. There's nothing that looks like this out there. So you're not going to go wrong on that one. But do always cross-reference. When you're foraging anything we've talked about, anything out there, always make sure you're checking, double checking that you've got the right thing. But the great thing is nothing looks like this, so you're not going to be able to make a mistake. Great plant to eat, great plant to have teas from, great plant to juice. Really medicinal and nutritious for us. So that's it from me. Over to the team to see if they've got anything they want to share about the lovely dead nettles. Joe, I see you biting at the chomp to get in there.
Try not to go first. Well, I just want to add that white dead nettle is one of my favourite smells. I absolutely love the smell.
It's got a very fresh smell to it, doesn't it?
So
and the flowers, I mean, that sweet taste of the flowers is lovely. Anyone else want to?
No, I'll just add, I see it's really rich in vitamin A, which I understand is one of the vitamins that a lot of Americans are deficient in. I don't know about our sort of UK diet, but I think some of these foods can help provide nutrition that isn't in our vegetables in the shops, which I think it's sort of ironic, really.
And vitamin A is really important for wound healing. So if you've got cuts and grazes and your vitamin A is low, then you're not going to heal from those wounds so quickly. So it's an important one and good for the eyesight as well.
Excellent.
Amazing. Thanks, Joe. Anyone else want to share anything about the dead nettles? Mark?
Yeah, just I've not experienced it, but potentially topically. So on the skin, it can be good for, and it's like splinters and even I think even like bruises and maybe burns and cuts as well. So that could be something exploring. This is the thing about going into nature. You know, you think about going up and going into something that's back at home. It's always there in nature. Everything. It's just trusting and knowing that.
Yeah, it does have that pulling quality. I have read about that, where it can pull.
Brilliant. I mean, there's so many plants that can do that. You know, plantain, for example,
plantain,
as well. So,
yeah.
And always say to people as well, because I like to keep a dried stash for tea, because obviously some plants are, well, most plants are not all year round, they're going their cycles. So I like to harvest some when there's abundance of them around, and there normally is abundance of the red dead nettle, and well, all of those. So go and explore that. But there is, like you said before, eating the fresh flowers, beautiful. And just one thing I know Juliet said about, it's a square stem. So if you're ever not sure, because the leaf may look similar to a stinging nettle, apart from the sting, stinging nettles have a round stem and the dead nettles always have a square stem. So that's another thing for you guys to go out there and actually get up more close and personal, if you like, with the plants, so you can start to observe and see, you be with all your senses with the plants, so then you can start to really know them even more.
Yeah, someone's asked a question, can you dehydrate? Definitely. You know, I've got dehydrating trays out and I dehydrate the things. I'm sure others do. You can also dehydrate. You can also put them in the oven at a low temperature with the door open to dry these things. The low temperature is key so that you don't destroy the nutrient level from them. But definitely store them up, get jars, label them, and then you've got the food for the rest of the year, which is such a beautiful thing. Thanks, Mark, for sharing. John, do you want to share anything?
I haven't actually got that much dead nettles. I mean, I always see them when I'm out in the wild. I wonder what to do there. So I've actually learned quite a lot from you, Juliet, today, and so I look forward to introducing them to my diet. So that's kind of the beauty of these panels, is that we're all kind of learning and inspiring each other along. So yeah, thanks everybody for sharing that, and I think I'm going to add that to my quiver, add that to my diet.
Brilliant. That's great. So Danny just asked another question. He said, how about the sting? Well, the amazing thing about the dead nettles is the word dead nettle, as I said before, they're not actually in the same family as stinging nettles at all. These are dead nettles, so there's no sting. So you don't need to worry about it. I'm not super brave and being able to touch them and play with them. My hands are not made of asbestos, but there's no sting. So that's a really great way that you can get these without worrying about that. For me, though, with stinging nettles, I just pull my sleeve down and just grab them like that. I know Mark goes barehanded in there and grabs the nettles. You know, when you get those stings on the body, they say that it's going to stop arthritis when you get stung, and you can really certainly feel alive, can't you, when you get stung by the nettles? You notice your fingers for a few days. So thank you all so much for joining us. Thank you so much to Joe, to John, to Mark, and thank you to me. Thank you to Dan and the amazing Vegan Organic Network. If you haven't become a member of this amazing group, then please do think about joining the Vegan Organic Network and spreading our message all across the world about how we can plant and grow veganically. And that's the amazing thing about foraging. Nature is veganic, and so the more we can turn to nature and work alongside nature to forage in a respectful manner so that we're not taking too much for ourselves, we're leaving enough for the bees, the wildlife, and all of that, that's so important. So thank you, guys. Anyone want to share a final message to our lovely listeners before we say goodnight?
I'll just add that we're coming into the season for flowers next week. It seems to feel when Gemini, the sun's in Gemini, that's when we have maxed out with roses and all the flowers in the gardens are at their peak. So a lot of them are edible, maybe all of them are. So that's something to look out for.
Amazing. Flower power.
Flower power. And that amazing nutrition we don't get anywhere else.
No. And smell and colour and vibrancy. Mark, John, do you have anything you want to share before we finish?
Oh, just for everyone, really, just go out and immerse yourself into nature's frequencies. It's so beautiful this time of year. It's so abundant. It's beautiful, and just by walking around, and I always say, just when you're walking in nature, just be in stillness and silence, even just for 1 minute, and just be immersed in all the sounds you hear, and just go and touch a plant. If you 100% know that plant, then go and explore it. Really go more deeper into it. Nature just offers and has everything for us. So go out and enjoy and have fun as well.
Amazing. Thank you, Mark. John, any last parting words from you? Oh, you're muted. And there's a delay.
I've got something that I just want to quickly jump back to the dandelion, talking about the flowers there. But
oh, I think we've lost you, John.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Oh yeah, you're back. Wonderful.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, I'm afraid I
Can you
think
hear me
we've
now?
lost. Oh, you're back again. Yeah. We're going to get there. We're going to hear about the dandelion.
Okay, sorry. So just, yes, I've got a little story. Once, a good few years ago, I thought I'd try and preserve dandelion flowers by dehydrating them. And within a few hours, they'd all turned into these perfect seed balls. So basically, the moral of the story is don't dehydrate your dandelion flowers unless you want some perfect seed balls.
Amazing. That's a brilliant story, John. Thank you all to the wonderful panel. Thank you to everyone watching. And thank you, Vegan Organic Network. Have a wonderful evening and good foraging.
Thanks, Juliet.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks, John. Thanks, Mark. Bye. See you in 2 months.
Thank you, everybody.